April 2022. Eglin Air Force Base near Fort Walton Beach, Florida. Hi, this is Janet, and I'm Sly. Back in 2016, we both decided it was time to stop working, buy an RV, and start traveling the country and the world. And once the RV was pretty much the way we wanted it, we started our travels, and we've been doing it ever since. So join us as we explore this country and the world, and maybe we can even meet up with some of you along the way. It was time to say goodbye to Shields RV Park near Gulfport, Mississippi, and some friends. Today is a short 200-mile drive to Fort Walton Beach, Florida, and it starts with getting around these obstructions at the CB base in Gulfport, Mississippi. Sometimes these things can be difficult. Oh, and by the way, this is like 4 times the speed. There is no way I could do these things this fast. It's a short drive from the base up to the freeway, and before you know it, we're on the freeway just cruising along to make our drive. Cruising on the freeway is easy, and I kinda like it, especially on a Sunday with very little traffic. In the blink of an eye, we're crossed into Alabama. Pretty much as soon as we get into Mobile, the freeway takes a dip and takes us down into a tunnel underneath Mobile Bay. Tunnels still make me a little unnerved. They seem tight, but they're really not. On the other side of the tunnel, we have to cross a bridge to finish our travel across Mobile Bay. But shortly after we're done with that, we find ourselves in Florida. Then it's not long before we find ourselves off the freeway and making the turn that takes us into Eglin Air Force Base. Now these are some tight turns. I just barely made them, and this is 5 times the speed. Even the guard was impressed with my driving skills. Although I'll tell you, I was concerned about this one. In fairness, the guards will move some of these barriers if you ask them to, and I probably should have. Anyway, a little while later, we're taking the last little bit of a drive that takes us across the base and to the fam camp. Eglin has 2 RV parks. One of them is Camp Robbins. The other one is Postal Point. We are staying at Camp Robbins because it's a full hookup place. The Postal Point one only has power and water, no sewer, and it sits right on the beach. But I prefer full hookup, so we opted for Camp Robbins. So now we're at Eglin Air Force Base, and we intend to stay here for the next 2 weeks. And it doesn't take us long to set up and head on out to take a hike along the beach and into the trails. Eglin Air Force Base has lots of beachfront property and a lot of trails which make hiking really easy and conveniently located next to the RV park. The next day, we took a drive down to Destin, Florida. This is a nice beachfront town with lots of shops, bars, and restaurants that you can go ahead and explore. Oh, by the way, you don't want to be here during spring break. It is an absolute zoo. But today, the crowds weren't so bad, so we had a really great time. We explored the harbor walk at Destin, and we had a chance to sit down and enjoy a drink at Margaritaville just to watch the boats go by. All in all, a great first day in Florida. It's good to be back. Our next trip took us down to Navarre Beach. I will tell you, Navarre Beach is underrated. People talk about Destin and Fort Walton, but you don't hear much about Navarre Beach. And the beaches up here are more beautiful than Destin or Fort Walton, and they're nowhere near as crowded. So if you come down here, check out Navarre Beach. After a day on the beach, we decided to hike another Florida trail. Ah yes, Florida and alligators. They go together hand in hand. These signs were all over the place, like every 20 yards or so. Janet read one of them and decided, Okay, 'cause Janet's not afraid of no alligators, so off she goes. This was a nice hike. It wasn't super hot today yet, and we managed to get the better part of 5 miles through this nice shady trail that took us into the woods, brought us close to a river and a pond, and then took us back into the woods again. For all the signs about alligators, we did not see a single alligator out there. So, maybe they were all snoozing away. I really don't know. The hike was fun, but it's been too long, and we really wanted to get back down on these nice white sand beaches. Hanging out on these beaches makes for a wonderful lazy day. We just get to sit out there in our nice shady spot, reading a book, getting some sun, and just enjoying the surf. And if you're wondering what our day sounds like, well, here it is. Enjoy your moment of zen. So wonderfully relaxing. But the week is coming to an end. So we took one last drive around the RV park, both RV parks actually on Eglin Air Force Base, before meeting up with some friends to have dinner. And this is a wonderful way to end the week. So that's it for our first week here in Florida. We hiked a few trails, walked a few beaches, visited some nice bars and restaurants, and of course, we put a link down below so that you can find all of these places without working as hard as we did. Janet and I both hope that you enjoyed joining us during this week's adventure. And we both hope that you join us next time as we continue to explore this stop.